I'd say that test worked out pretty darn well. We're ready to start the next part of the adventure, I suppose. Welcome back. I think what's going to happen is I'm just going to go through, take my little scraper there, and you can see kind of I've already started. This used to be all just covered. It was caked. I've even knocked a bunch of it off onto the floor and had to sweep it up already. So, yeah, I think just what I'm going to do for a day is I might just go through and scratch on this until I either get tired of scratching or run out of stuff to scratch, I guess. Man, that truck was really loud. At least for me. Yeah, I do have some stuff to take off. I can take off this little heat shield thing, and then I need to pop that off anyhow. But aside from that, it'll just be scratching on stuff. I do have it drained of oil. So I might, well, I was thinking about taking that filler neck out, but if I'm scratching on it, I don't want to take that filler neck out. I'd rather have it there to stop stuff from falling down in there. We'll see how far we get. We got roughly about this far. Did a lot of scraping and a lot of poking and just I got some what did I get? I got my super clean out and hit it with that quite a few times. You can still see, I don't necessarily want to move it around. You can still see some bits like where I haven't really got into. I think that'll be okay. I am going to hit this section here behind the starter because I took it off so I can get to it now. And then I would kind of like to clean up that section a bit more. You see all the gunk there around the spark plug and stuff. But other than that, there's that thing. I got gaskets and a couple other little things. I think I ordered. I don't think this is the problem with it, because I got this. If you remember, I got this engine to run, but I did also get the what's it called? The crankshaft. Yeah, crankshaft, and a new governor gear and a couple other things. I don't really know if it needs that or not. I am going to take it apart and sort of peek around inside here anyhow. So, it's probably a good idea to just go ahead and get that stuff, especially because apparently that stuff on these Briggs & Stratton engines just goes out like all the time. So if and when it does finally happen, I'll already have replacement parts. I don't have to wait. So, but for today, I think I'm going to work on the front suspension thing here. I didn't have anything crazy planned. Really, my idea for just to pass some time is I'm going to tack weld the uppers on, the upper part of the arms here, and just tack them. And then, because I think down underneath it, let me get down here. So, yeah, you can see down underneath here, it hangs down past the bottom of the tractor quite a bit. Well, I guess quite a bit. But this has nothing to attach to, so I think I'm going to have to do up maybe some cross support or something like that. That's just the idea that I've had right now, currently. First, though, I need to get these demagnetized off of there. And there's some cleanup that's got to happen. The tops here need to be ground down, and I think I might try and fill them in. I don't think that would be too difficult of a job to close that off once I get it ground down to where I need it. I think these are unnecessary now. On the four-wheeler, I'm pretty sure they just held plastic or whatever. And I don't believe I need anything like that, but I don't know. I might keep those. Ooh, to be honest with you, maybe some little fenders hang down off of them. I don't know. I want to get ahead of myself. These front ones here, I think I need to keep them for maybe a support there. Yeah, I think we'll go with that for now. But then there's a few other things here and there that need to be ground down off of them. So that's going to start it out. And here we go. A few days have passed and a measure of work has been done. I got... this is the new gaskets and camshaft and governor gear and all that good stuff for the engine. So I'll be ready to tear that apart. I do want to wait because I got coming in tomorrow, I think it is, some cleaning solution for my little ultrasonic cleaner or whatever. So I'm gonna wait, pop the carb off, get it, take it all apart, and put it in the ultrasonic, get it really, really clean before I tackle that. So that'll be probably a day within and of itself. This has made it to a certain point, I guess. I got my my bits, and I can't remember exactly if I've covered this yet or not. I don't think I have. So I was initially going to go for like an X kind of pattern. Down here I was going to go up underneath the frame here, down to this side, and then, you know, of course, vice versa, front and back. I got my pieces made out, and they didn't really quite work the way I was thinking, but I got home and I got to messing with them, and I think I can do this. I got 2 bars for front and the back, and I mean, I can trim them up and I guess make them look a little bit better or whatever, but 2 bars front and back on the bottom, and then I got 2 other bars on the bench over there that I'll have, and then I can kind of V-shape in some smaller supports front and back. That's going to be fun to weld, considering it's on the bottom of the tractor. Like, I'll have to stand the tractor up on its tail and see if that won't make it a little bit easier, I guess. I don't know, but I think I'm going to be working on the dash today, because I got, you can see, first off, this was just for funsies, but I printed out and painted an out-of-time license plate. But then I got 2 of the 4 wooden panels printed up. This fits a lot better in here than it did in the other one. I programmed a little recess there for the little nub, the top thing there, to go through. That'll make mounting all of that a little bit easier. I still have to, so the hole, there's 2 holes here. That's how this is going to attach to the panel itself. So I still have to mark and drill those holes. I would have put them into the print, but I wasn't exactly sure where they were going to be. So I figured I'll just mark it and drill it and go from there. This is, of course, the other side. This is my lights and choke. That should be coming in. The lights I already have, actually. I could test fit that real quick. But then the choke should be in, I think, today. So we'll see how that works. I got to mark where the mounting holes for these are going to be, and each corner onto that, and get those holes drilled, and then I'll probably riv nut them and use some little like Allen head screws or something to affix them to the dash. Now I still have to print the bottoms, so we still got work to do there, but I can work on this. So we got her done. Well, at least to this point. I feel okay about this. There's still obviously work that has to be done to them. I have to. I still have yet to, put them up there and mark out the spots for the little mounting holes on either side. I still haven't painted the bottom of them, but I got all this stuff in and fitted. I got the holes drilled for the mounting thing to hold that in there. These all just kind of went in. This was the only one that I had to actually work on. But yeah, they're all ready to be painted, essentially. I mean, before I paint them, I am going to mark the stuff, because I'm not trying to, mess up the paint job once I have it on there. But I'll digress and just get back to work. And the work, for this at least, is completed. Let me turn that off real quick. So, yeah, there it is. In everything, it's going to be, it's up until the point now to where I kind of have to put it back on the scoot and figure out exactly where the steering column's going to be at. And then I figure what I'll do for this, instead of doing the puck like I originally was talking about, I will I'll make a cap at work. I'll take this outside diameter measurement and just make a circle that'll lay on top of that, and probably build out 2 little tabs and just bend those tabs down, and I can run some screws through that. I think that'll fit the look of the rest of it pretty well, you know, with all the little button head Allen screws and stuff. This is the dash in its completed form, you know, sans steering column as stated. Moving on now, since we actually can, when last we left off on this, I was sort of mocking up the my little cross members down there. I think what I'm going to do, since I can do it as it sits right now, I can tack weld, line these up in the spots where I need them, the tops, because they'll get tack welded on the top of the frame here. And I'm just going to tack it in, get it straight, get it set with some tack welds on the top, and then I'll mess around with getting the cross members or whatever sat where I want them, and I might tack those in as well. Then I get really, the only way I can think of doing it right now off the top of my head is to stand this thing up on its butt, and that way I can really get at the underneath there and get those things full welded on the bottom. Like I said, I want to do, the idea currently is to have cross members front and back like this, and then with another piece of material do some shorter V kind of like supports or whatever. I think that'll be fine. I don't plan on beating this thing up, to be honest with you. Like, probably won't ever see any kind of trail or anything like that. I mean, the most off-road kind of situation it's going to probably ever see is from the front of the house to the shed out back, maybe, you know. Yeah. So yeah, that's now the current plan. That's where we're at. We'll see how it works out. Starting to get colder outside, my favorite time of the year. So I've made it to a point on the frame here. I got the front support whatever's welded onto the side there. I'll flip the camera around here in a minute and show you. There, well, I say welded, tack welded. And then I got just one of the front cross supports there. And well, there you see it. I got just one of them cross beams tacked on. I can't really get to the back one how it sits now. That'll be, once I stand it up on its butt, that'll be something that I do. And yeah, I think before I do that though, what I'd like to do, just for funsies, you know, a little bit of S&Gs, I think I'm going to try and put the wheels back on, you know, get the upper and lower and the shock back up in there, and then I'd like to set it down on the ground and see, just get a feel of what it looks like, see how it's going to be. I think the tacks will hold it. I'm not jumping up and down on it or anything like that, so I think we'll be fine. I'm going to try and do that, unless the tacks break as I try and put that stuff back on. Then, you know, plan B, I guess. Check that thing out. Picked that up at a yard sale the other day that I didn't plan on going to. I was lucky enough That's what the guy had on the sticker. And when I when I asked him how much he'd take for it, he actually gave me a higher price. He said, well, 60, I think, because I didn't have it in my hands, so he was just trying to remember what he had put on there. And I was like, well, I don't think I could live with myself if I didn't offer you 45. And he initially said no, and I was like, listen, man, that's all the money I got in my wallet, but I don't think I can walk away from that. And luckily enough, his wife happened to be sitting there, and she said, take it, I'm tired of looking at it. So, but in any case, so we got some tack welds on. I feel pretty good about where everything's sitting and everything's looking. So now it'll be now I can set it up on its butt and get the underside of it. And while I'm under there, I think there's some other cleanup that I was thinking about doing. And once I get the two support member things, cross member things, whatever, welded in, I can finish weld all of that on the bottom, and then when I set it back down, I'll just finish weld all the stuff on the top. I still have yet to, I don't have any like front support or top supports. I haven't planned those out yet, so those will still have to go on. When I do those, though, I'm kind of half thinking of just setting the engine back down on there, because I want to make sure I don't put anything in the way. But yeah, that's where we're at now. I think I'm going to stand it up and hit the underside of that. Well, there it is. To the certain point that I got it, I guess. I've gone through and finish welded all of my spots as best as I could get to them. There's still a couple spots, tucked up underneath stuff that I couldn't really reach with the welder. Really, that's about it for now. I mean, that's just sitting on there for, I don't know, dramatic effect, I guess. The only thing that I had intended on doing to it right now, the only thing left, I guess, is to just spray it all with some rust protector so it doesn't flash rust and look bad and give me more work later. And then you see the piece down there. I need to, in order to move it, to make it a sort of a more rolling chassis, I got you can see there, the steering linkage, I guess we'll call it. I'm gonna tie those together, just that way, so the wheels keep pointing straight but are still able to turn, and then I can drag it back out to the shed, move on to something else for now, I guess. I don't know, winter's coming in. I do have another little project that popped up that I kind of would like to just sort of flip real quick. The intention of the project was to get it, put as little work into it as possible, and then sell it. So that might be what gets drug in here and sits here over the winter. Hopefully I can have it done by next fall, or next spring rather. Yeah, so plan for today is that I'll figure out the really cheap connector. I'm going to extend those linkages as far out as they'll go, and then if I can get it to span either side of that, I'll drill a hole and find a nut that fits the ends of those, and it'll be ready to be drugged back out to the shed. So I got her back down on the ground, painted, and everything's put back on there. There. So the paint job isn't a finished paint job. It may look relatively decent on camera here, but I assure you, in person, you can see the rough spots. But it's ready to be ushered back out. into the shed. So yeah, but you know, I mean, I'm pretty thrilled, I guess, at the progress that I made. Just hopefully this next little project that I got lined up to flip, hopefully I can flip it pretty quick, and then that way I can either get back on this or maybe do a little bit more work on the Trans Am. I don't know. We'll see how I feel. But yeah, let me get this out and the project for the next video in. So I got the new little project pulled in here. That was a bit of a trial. My makeshift steering linkage situation type deal worked really well in principle, and in the short back and forths that I did here in the shop, seemed to do perfectly well. As soon as I got it out there on the sidewalk, though, it just went downhill quick. But nevertheless, I got the scoot tucked away in the shed out back there, and I got this little chopper sitting here in front of me, and I think this is going to be the next one. I'm gonna really try and burn through this one quick. Famous last words and all that. So there the little guy is, and you know, I don't know, it's some of it's bad, some of it's not so bad. Forgive the very loud wheels on the floor. But yeah, I don't know. You know, it is what it is. It's just a cheap little toy, I guess. Really, we'll see. I don't know. Because these things, man. I imagine some of these things can get pretty expensive. You know, depending on who makes them and all that kind of stuff like that. It has. Scooch around here. I believe that is a tiny little ADC, just a little motor, tiny little motor, and I believe it's garbage. And what leads me to believe it's garbage is a couple different things. I think it's missing some parts, number one. But then number two, pretty sure it sat like that outside in the rain. So that's perfectly fine. This is nothing but plastic, so that can come off. I have a Predator 212 that I think will fit really nicely, just right in there. And then, you know, I don't know. All of this nonsense can go because that 212 is pull start, so I don't need the charging system or the battery or anything like that. None of that's necessary. I can run my little gauges. Those are all working gauges. And then headlights, taillights, and stuff like that. I think I'm gonna delete the turn signals and just run headlights, taillights, and what I can get working of the gauges. Hopefully I can get those gauges all working and looking nice, because that'd be super. I mean, it'd be super cool to have them, you know. Well, so looking at them, I guess just the middle gauge is really the only one that's gonna actually stick around, because this is a voltage, voltmeter, and so I don't need that anymore. And I guess it would be neat to have the light indicator, but as stated, I'm gonna I'm going to get rid of the turn signals. So, yeah. Yeah, we're just gonna rock and roll on this little thing. The only plans that I have for it is cleaned up, new engine, of course, you know, re-link up the engine, the drive gears, and all that stuff with the chain and blah blah blah. I'll probably service the little front brake, get the headlight and taillight working, you know, check over the wiring, what little wiring there will be. Maybe do a little bit of painting, you know, who knows. The most extensive part that I have planned for it currently, right, is because as stated, all of this mess is going to be gone. So I'd like to get a little peanut tank, you know, that goes on them with them little Cushman mini bikes or whatever. I think that'll fit nicely in that area there. So the deal with that though is I'll have to put some little bushings, some little rubber mount bushings on either side there, and then probably roughly about right here on the backbone I'll have to drill and put an insert, a little bong I think they're called, for just for a bolt, so I can hold the tank down. Aside from that, that really is the most extensive work that's been planned to this point. Everything else should be incredibly straightforward. Just something that I can do super quick and flip the little thing. So, you know, you never know, next fall or next spring, the little guy might be available on Facebook Marketplace. And I guess so from that point there, we're going to call this one. I don't really know how long it's going to wind up being. Doesn't really matter, I suppose. As always, thanks everybody for watching. Catch you in the next one.